I'm your host, Joy Ware Miller, and I'm delighted to have a sister duo on with me this morning talking about Sophia Learning Center. Welcome to FYI. Soteria Brown and Constance Brown.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
So, ladies, let's just dive right in. Sophia Learning Center. You both are co-owners. Constance, maybe you can start us out and tell us a little bit about yourselves and Sophia Learning Center.
Yes, so Sophia Learning Center, we are a Christ-centered preschool here in Kettering, Ohio. And what we do is we focus on making sure that our students know about Jesus Christ, who he is and how we serve him. But also we make sure that our students have those academics that they need in order to walk into kindergarten 100% ready to perform and excel in what they do. We focus on making sure that our students are trained up wholly through biblical wisdom principles so they ultimately become world changers.
Well, I love that. And so tell me again, as far as when do they start? Is this K through?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, so we are preschool and private kindergarten. We take students ages 3, 4, and 5, starting at 3 years old in our preschool program, and then we move them up to we'll be offering private kindergarten this fall, and we're really excited about that because that gives us just more time to be with our students and then help them to just prepare for the next level of education.
And when I look at your website, which is sophialearningcenter.org, I love the belief in what you're doing, and you believe that training up a child is the way to go. So I love that. I
Yes.
love what the mission is there with Sophia Learning Center. We're talking right now this morning with Soteria Brown and Constance Brown with the Sophia Learning Center. They're both co-owners, and we're finding out more about Sophia Learning Center. Ladies, who wants to tell me about how you got started with the Sophia Learning Center?
Oh, this is Soteria. I can take that one. It's actually a beautiful story. We are sisters, and we like to say that we are a family of teachers and the family that God chose to lead the center, not necessarily family business, but the family that God chose to do this in the earth right now. And actually, Sophia means wisdom. It's not any of our names, but it is the name that God gave our mother when he originally gave her the idea. So our mother was a teacher in the schools in Cleveland, Ohio. We're all originally from Cleveland. And right around the late 90s, she was teaching in the charter schools in like the elementary or in the middle school, I'm sorry. And around that time, she was crying out to God and asking, like, God, how can I help these students? Because she was noticing so many issues with them not being able to read, and they're in middle school, and just so many other issues like that. And so she asked God, what can she do? How can she teach these children and get them to really learn and get this stuff? And at that time, she was studying in Proverbs, and God told her to train up the children through wisdom principles. And from there, Sophia Learning Center was born. Our mother is a mentor and a Bible school teacher and all those things. And from there, she just started training up the children in the school. She didn't even care what the school was saying. And so fast forward, she never actually got the center started. And we believe it just wasn't time for us. And so in 2019, God renewed the vision in our younger sister, and who was a teacher in the schools as well. And she said, Mom, I think it's time to do this because, again, we were noticing all the issues that we were seeing in the schools with the children not being able to read and comprehend and things like that. And so my sister and my mother stepped out on faith, quit their jobs, and started Sophia Learning Center. And from there, you can see God's hand all over it. We started off with one student that God sent. And then literally from there, he sent 2s and 3s and 4, then 5. And this summer, we are currently up to 8. We are in homeschool currently. And we've just seen God's hand moving all over. And we know that it's his vision to train up for us to train up the children in the way that he wants them to go. Each child we know comes to our school with a gift, or each child comes to this earth with a gift, and we are here to help parents train them up in the way that they should go and to nurture that gift and to make sure that they are world changers when they're going into that school system.
That is beautiful. What's going on with Sophia Learning Center, and it's family motivated. So I love that part. On your website, sophialearningcenter.org, what's the best way that folks can find out more information or contact you?
People can go to sophialearningcenter.org to learn a little bit more about us, or you can visit our Facebook page, which we're also on Sophia. On Facebook, we're Sophia Learning Center, all one word. And you can take a look at our program. We love to infuse old school values with new teaching styles and fun into everything that we do. So you can take a look at our videos and see how our children are learning. But to contact us, you can call us at 937-503-7003. And we're currently enrolling for the fall. So you can come tour the center and learn more about us and what we stand for and how we're here to help parents train up their children.
And if you're a parent, you're listening now, or you may know someone who's getting ready for kindergarten, on the website, sophialearningcenter.org, great information. I see a readiness guide. You can click and find out if your child is ready for kindergarten and find out and even schedule a tour. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We love taking parents on tours and just really giving them an idea of what their student will experience during a day at Sophia Learning Center.
So I'm going to ask a question. Why a Christian education?
I would like to answer that with why not a Christian education? You want to make sure that your child is well-rounded and they have those good values that you have growing up. And then we want to make sure that our students are loving and kind and walking in the way that they're supposed to walk in. As my sister said earlier, that God gives each one of these children a gift that he puts on the inside of them. And then we come alongside with the families to help train up the children and nurture that gift that they have, that so they can go out into the world and use that gift to edify God's kingdom and build it up and show everyone else how great he is. And then ultimately, like we said, become world changers. That is what we're all about here.
To add to that, Joy, that I've heard people say that so many people say that there is no parenting guide. These children come with no parenting guide. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. The best parenting guide is the Bible. And one of the best books in the Bible for parenting is Proverbs. God gives you exactly how to train up your child and how to raise up your child through his word. And so we're taking that and we're helping families do that. So when people say that, like, there's no parenting guide, we don't know how to do this, parenting certainly is difficult. It's hard. It's one of the most rewarding jobs that a parent could ever have. But you've got the best parenting book, and we're here to help you get through it with it.
Excellent. I'm talking with Soteria Brown and Constant Brown, and they're talking with us and sharing about Sophia Learning Center and powerful information about getting a Christ-centered education. So in your experience, are you able to share with us a story, an example of what you mean? What's the difference?
Absolutely. We have a number of stories of explaining how we're different from different locations. And not saying that any other school is bad. We're not saying that at all. What we're saying is we know that God has put us here to do this job right now. So what we like is our students come in every day and they're ready for praise and worship. And we give God praise every single day. Before we even start any reading and math activities, we make sure that we're doing praise and worship. And one funny story was one of our students was running late for school one day, and her mom came and said, my daughter told me to drive faster because she didn't want to miss praise and worship. So that's awesome that, the students are learning to praise God and they're learning who he is. And then we like to let everybody know we don't force Jesus down anybody's throat. We make sure that the students make the choice on their own. We introduce him to them, and then they start seeing his goodness throughout the day, and wherever we go, they start seeing the goodness of God, and then they choose to worship him. They choose to live for him. Last year, funny story, the students were praying for snow because they wanted to go sledding, and there was not a snowflake in sight for weeks, and they just kept on praying. And then one day, out of the blue, it snowed so hard for them. And we all got the sleds out and went sledding, and they were so excited, but their little eyes were just like, oh my gosh, this prayer stuff really works. So that's awesome. And that's just what we do here, making sure that the students know, hey, he's real. He works for you, not he works for you, but he'll work things out for you if you trust him.
One of the things that we like to say at Sophia Learning Center is that parents shouldn't have to choose between culture, values, and academics. Sometimes when you go to other schools or go into different schools in the area, you lose something. Your student might come out with a fantastic education, and they can tell you everything from A to Z. But are they good, kind kids? Did they lose the values that you put inside of them when they went into that school system? That shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have to choose. You should get all of that when you go to take your child into a school. And so that's what we're offering. So your student gets to know Christ in a different way. You get rigorous academics. You get those values that need to go into your child. And then when they come out, they're going into those school systems, and they're changing their world. And isn't that what changing the world is all about? Changing your own individual world first?
Absolutely. Wow. Ladies, this is just awesome information. And what it is options, giving us options with Christian education. I'm talking with Soteria and Constance Brown. They're co-owners of Sophia Learning Center. That's their website, sophialearningcenter.org, where you can find out more who we are, what we believe, and why Sophia. Help us grow. There's a readiness guide and then more contact information. And the phone number, I'll just give that out one more time, 937-503-7003. So ladies, if you were letting our listeners know what's the invitation to be able to come check out more things about Sophia Learning Center. We've got about a minute and a half left.
So what we invite all of your listeners to do is to visit our website at sophialearningcenter.org to learn more about us. If you're listening to the station, more than likely you are a believer. And we were speaking with someone the other day, and they said, this is kingdom work. This is not us. This is not our idea. This is an idea that came from God to our mother, and we are carrying on this legacy to help train up children. So come alongside of us. You can donate on our website at sophialearningcenter.org, or if you know a family in need of good care, let them know that this is an option in the Dayton area.
Wonderful. Ladies, thank you so much. Soteria Brown and Constance Brown, thank you for coming on, talking with us, sharing with us your heartbeat, the passion for Sophia Learning Center. Thank you both so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Joy, for having us.
It's been my pleasure to have Soteria and Constance Brown with me this morning. SophiaLearningCenter.org, or once again, find out more information on their website. You can find out and schedule a tour or call 937-503-7003. If you'd like to be on our FYI Community Affairs program, send me information about your organization or ministry at joy@godsfm.org. That's joy@godsfm.org.